created a user. Now you have to attach the permissions to the user. You can have two different ways. You can attach a user to the group where the group is being already assigned with some policies, or else you can also have copy the permissions from other users to this user, or else you can also attach the policies directly using the inline policy. So we already have a group over here. What I'll do something, but I'll just delete this group. I want to let's start with the basics. Okay. So let's delete this group. I do have a group called as admin. Let's delete this group. When I have a user, let's create a user with CDP demo, provide access. And when I have a create a user, custom password, user must use it. I'm going to have CDP 1234. So this is going to be CDP 1234. Next. And I'm going to add a user to the group. So first of all, I don't have any groups. Let's start creating a group. Let me have a group name as admin, or let me have the group name as CDP. And inside CDP, I'm going to group the entire administration access to him, like administrative access and administrative access, nothing but you may be able to check this administrative access by clicking it. And you can able to see what are the permissions which has been attached to the administrative access policy. It is a policy where you may be able to see all the 403 or 403 services, like a root account, like you can have another account, but which is an IAM account. We have entire list of services which is being used, like the access analyzer, account, activate, Alexa for business, amplify admin, etc. So this we'll come to this policies in the next go. So let's create a user group, and we do have a group, and let's start attach this particular user to this group. And I'm gonna set a permission boundaries. This is not needed. Let's go for the next one, and let's review and create. Username is CDP demo, custom password. We don't want to set the password. The permission summary is nothing but the CDP demo is user is being available inside the group called as CDP. Okay, so let's create a user. This is what the thing. So please do make a note of it whenever you are creating it. Why? Because this is very, very important. After this, you can able to see your password, right? So password is and you can also download a CSV file for that. Okay. So inside the CSV file, what is actually present over there is that we're able to see the username, the password, the console sign. Okay, but I'll show you the console sign in somewhere else. Okay, let's stay to the user space. You have a user. Now let's get back to the dashboard. Let me create an account alias. The account alias is going to be, let me create my own name, Raghul. Okay, so what this account alias is nothing but to make sure to provide us another way. So now I have a sign-in URL for IAM users. I'll copy this. Make sure to use in another. Incognito tab. What you have, or else I'll use my other browser. There are two ways: use an incognito tab or use in another browser. What you have in your system. I'll paste it. Let me show you in the next second. Now it's asking me for IAM username, which is CDP demo, and the password is capital CDP -1234. I think so. Now it's clear. Now it's the name of this account. Let me sign in. I want to save it. Yes. Now an IAM user CDP demo has been created with the permission administrator access. Clear? Now you can work on it. Any other cases you can do. So just we'll go with some administration, which is the same IAM will go inside. You can create a user, you can create a group, anything else you can create. There is no issues at all. Okay, you can create a user, create a group. But one important thing I want to like to show you, right? Since we do have a PA group over here, what I'm going to do is something where you can create a user. Okay. What I'm going to do is something where I'm going to have a user here. Let me create a user. So let's say I'm going to have demo person. Is going to be another user. So I'm doing it from my IAM user guys, IAM account. Okay. So I'm going to provide an access. I want to create it. Let's have a custom password, and I'm going to do it like I'm going to have the capital S sample -123. So sample -123. So I'm going to create it. And I'm going to add a user to the group. Let's create a group then. If I'm not so, okay. Let us have these things. Okay. I'm going to attach the same sample user to the CDP group. Next, let's review all those things. Let's create the user. and I'm going to download it. So you can able to use it. Right? Sure. Then let's get into the returns to user list. I'm going to have the dashboard over here, and we'll try to have it. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste this in the next tab. Now, what is the username we have created? Let's check. So the username, what we have created is that is demo person, and sample 123 is the password. Am I right? So it's demo person, sample 123 is the password. Here we go. So we created an IAM account with the help of a root account, and we also created an IAM account with the help of an IAM account itself, where the IAM account is present inside a CDP group, which has a full administrator access. Clear so far, guys? Do we have any doubts?
No.
Clear, right? Hello? Can you able to hear me?
Yes, Rahul. You can continue.
Yeah, sure. Okay, now let's play around with this something. Okay, now since CDP, this is my root account. The right hand side part is a root account. Left hand side part is the IAM account. Let's start playing with around. This is the group what we already created, right? So where the CDP is a group, and users in the group are CDP demo and demo person where we are created, and the permissions are nothing but like the full permission administrator access is being given to it. Let's say I'm gonna remove this permission. I'm going to add the permissions. By add the permissions, attach a policy. What I'm going to do is something I'm going to have I am read only permission. I'm not going to have anything else extra. Okay. Now let's see. Attach policies. Now the policy has been attached to the group, and now let me get into the user. Let me reload it. Now let's start creating a user. Let me put sample demo, and I'm going to provide an access. Let's use a custom password. Let me put sample 1234. This is going to be the password, sample 1234. Next, and I'm going to add a I am read only access. Why? Because this is inside an account. So I'm going to put it inside. Let's review and create. Now we can't able to create the user. Why? Because the CDP demo present inside the group called as what can I say CDP doesn't have the permission to create a new user. Why? Because we do have attached only one IAM policy called as IAM read only policy. Guys, can you able to understand this? You have any doubts in this thing?
No, Rahul.
Okay, I think so. Might available. Okay, fine, sure. So let's get into much other stuff, right? So policies. I was just talking about the policies, right? The policies are nothing but the permissions which has been attached to each and every point of, like each and every perspective. For each and every user identity, what you're going to create, you're going to attach the permission to. So there are a lot of permissions, like you can have access analyzer service permission, and where you can able to see what are the permissions, like like among the 403 services available inside the AWS, only 14 services are allowed to use by this policy. And this is an like a summary mode. You can also show a JSON mode like this, what have you all said, the JSON mode, what I've just shown you. And the very important thing, guys, you can also create your own new policy also. Okay, you can create your own new policy. Like let's say, like visually with hand, like a drag and drop, choose a service, lambda, and put all those things. You can create your own user, own your permissions. Or else, if you know, if you're aware about the permission through JSON, then you're okay. I'm going to put a sample API. And what happens over here? Let's say I'm going to create permissions for EC2 with actions allowed with let me put get action, and let me have okay, let me have read or get associated anywhere. I'm going to just check tick the first three. Okay, now I've done sources all, and we do have now what happens nothing but if you just say the JSON one sec. So you have you can check EC2 all EC2 actions, and Effect is allow. Access level, you can just tick all the list actions which has been needed for you. And add more permissions. If you want to add more permission, I'll do S3. It's just simple thing, guys. I'm not explaining any of the services over here for understanding for your policies point of view. I'm just explaining you. Let me put read-only access. So create bucket, update storage, and scoops. Let me put tick. Let me put next. Okay, there is okay all. Okay, now we can just create all your policy details over here. Okay, like the policy name, policy description, in the allowed services, all those things, and you can also create your own policy. So there are available options for you inside AWS. You can create your own policies and you can allocate that policy to an individual user. And you also have a lot of other attached policies where you can use it. And based on the scenario, based on the use case, what you're going to work, you can start using it. Clear so far? Clear?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Now let's get into the next part. Okay, so we talked about this, like we talked about the policy inheritance and policies like IAM password policy, the same thing, guys. The same thing is that whenever you start creating a policy for your Gmail account, like you need to follow one special character, one uppercase, one lowercase, and you should contain almost 8 of specific length, etc., stuff like the same thing is also available for your IAM password policy. But we have not followed it, but we just for the what can I say, sake of showing you, I've just created one single thing. And as I say, one more way to secure your IAM or root account, which is nothing but the multi-factor authentication. Okay, it's nothing but your multi-factor authorization. What is that? So first thing is all about, let me show you this thing in my console. I'm inside the root account. So and let's leave it. Okay, so now once if you go inside to this, you may be able to show your account, right? This is all about your account, like whatever you created, like the account ID, account name, password, the phone number attached to it, billing contact, etc., what you have. Now let's dive into IAM. Okay, why I'm showing you something, but you are supposed to attach your MFA. Now, here, you're going to add MFA for your root user, like the multi-factor authentication. I'll show you through my cam what are all the multi-factor authorization which is available. Let me show you. The thing is all about that. I'll show you my through my cam. I'll start my video. Guys, you can able to see me, right? Sorry, I can't able to present this thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I do have like the MFA account which has been associated with my other perspective. Right now, I'm not able to create one because it might take some time. What I'll do is nothing but you can just add your MFA. What happens is nothing but it will be access to your any one of your device. Either this device, what I have it in my hand, this device, which is have a screen in my thing. I'll also show you some list of devices in the picture, or else you can also use your phone, which is a mobile app, right? What is the thing is nothing but whenever you start, what can I say, creating your account or pushing your logging into your account, right? When you are logging into your account, the first thing what you're supposed to follow is nothing but there will be some code will be given over here, and that code is not a what can I say, permanent code. It will be a temporary code. It takes some 6 to 9 seconds, and after 9 seconds, just reiterate and will start be creating a new what can I say, code for you. So what this happens, why this, what can I say, authorization, MFA, multi-factor authorization has been released in such a way that to provide more and more, what can I say, authentication for you. Because Even your password can be stolen, but your multi-factor authorization cannot be stolen. Why? Because for each and
This
every 10 seconds, this part will be, what can I say, reiterating, and it will be created as a new thing. Okay.
yeah, okay. Google
What happens?
Authenticator type.
A kind of, yes, yes. Microsoft Authenticator and Google Authenticator, the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
stuff, the stuff. But to put you more understanding. Okay, you have understood that. So this is what I was just talking to you guys. You need to know these things also. So far, you guys understood about IAM, right? Is there any doubts about IAM?
Is this free services provided by AWS?
IAM is a free service. You can create any
Oh,
number of users you can.
I'm talking about the MFA.
MFA is also free one, but I would say that if you lost your device, which has been associated, you can't able to access to your account.
Correct.
You can't able to access your account, right? It is
Yeah,
permanent. You can't.
yeah, Raghul, can we
Mhm.
integrate with some other third party this authenticator or something like that, like
Yes, you
Okta?
can. AWS is providing some authenticator. I'll
Okay,
show you. Do you know about Auth app from Twilio?
heard of.
Heard of, right? That is one of the
Yeah,
most sophisticated app which is being used for MFA through AWS.
okay.
You can check. We do have a lot of apps available over here, which is a FIDO security key, which is a plug like a stick-in key, which can you can use it, and virtual authentication app, and you can just see those things here. So we have Twilio Auth Authenticator, Geo Mobile, Microsoft Authenticator, Google Authenticator, Semantic VIP, etc. for your
Okay,
Android, for your iOS.
okay, okay. Hmm.
Answered your question?
Okay. Yeah, that
You're
is
using
fine.
Google
Eh,
Authenticator. I'm using a Twilio
yeah,
Authenticator. Only the app
okay.
name is different, but entire thing is going to be same.
Yeah. It
And this is
does
what
support
the
tokens also.
yes, it supports tokens. You also have an hardware
Okay.
TOTP tokens too. That's what I said. A device, right? On what I have in my hand, right? This device costs
Hmm.
almost 4,000 to 5,000. Okay. What
Okay.
happens? Nothing but
Okay.
this device is used as some algorithm called as TOTP, but I don't know about the algorithm. Right? This algorithm, what happens? Nothing but it provides you and what may I say? Code for you, a numerical code for you, which is not a static code. This is a dynamic code, which provides you an newest code after even after 10 seconds or even after 1 second login. Okay, let's say now the time is going to be 12. I'm going to log into my account. And after I'm going to go for lunch and come back. Now, can you suggest that same code will be appeared in the MFA device? Not at all. It will having a different code will be forwarded in the MFA device. This is the powerful thing. And I think so I've used in your, what can you say, COVID time, right? Haven't you used it? Did you use it or not? This MFA device kind of stuffs?
Yeah, we are like I have deployed it for VPN for VDI for like remote connection and all to
No, no,
access
no.
remotely.
That's okay. You're creating a VPN for your remote desktop control. That's okay. Fine. I'm okay with that thing.
Hmm.
But I'm saying that for customers, for like for the people who are working in your firm, they might want to log into their account and start working, right? Like for in terms of COVID, it might be a very typical issue from home to get login into it. But why? Because since they're alone from different region and different network connectivity, it might lead to a lot of
Yeah.
issues, right? So how they are
Hmm.
being secured?
By geofencing.
The kind
Okay.
of those thing, the kind of that thing.
AD
But
or-
when you
AD authentication properly
yes, that's it.
integrated.
Why? Because that authentication is being associated with some of the devices what we have, like which is nothing but you have said right now, right? The Google Authenticator, which is a mobile app which is being used to provide you an code for you to log in into your account. The same way, some of the firms have started to give this give this MFA device. Okay, this MFA device will cost about. I'll show you why. I think you have seen these devices in your company. Haven't you seen this kind of devices? Not it.
That's kind of RSA.
It's an MFA.
No, MFA device I have not seen. RSA I have seen.
The same thing as like as an MFA will look like, RSA will look like MFA, right?
Okay, but we had the MFA, like SOP token we install on our mobile, and
Yes. I
we
think so.
used to
So
get
far
the
in your firm, you have used as in mobile. In that app, the code will be generated. You will be putting the code inside an account, and you'll start using. You are being logged in.
right.
But some of the firms, like banking firms, some of you are from banking firms, and why? Because my brother is also from the banking firm. He used to use the MFA device, which has been given by his firm. Right? What happens
Yes,
is
yes.
that MFA device will be given from the firm, and that MFA device costs around 5,000 to 6,000. And he said a lot of security measures to be taken care of. If you lost the device, you are supposed to give a police complaint, and then you have to submit the FIR copy to the firm. But because it has a lot of security measures into it, right? There are a lot of stuff you need to know. So when you are getting into the part, and I was very thing like I know about MFA, but this kind of stuff is very like tedious to know about. Sure. So far so good, we learned about it. Now, what is going to be the shared responsibility model for IAM? Would you like to give an answer for this thing? Anyone? Would you like to give the answer for this thing? We started to know about what IAM is all about, it, right? What is the shared responsibility model for IAM? Just give your answers. It will be a huge thing,
Yeah,
right?
AWS is providing us a feature to use the IAM, and we are supposed to create an identity management access to the actual users who are supposed to use some specific services only.
Mhm. Okay, I understand that. Okay, what AWS should take care about and what customers should take care about from IAM point of view.
From customers, they need to secure the user. They have to keep the keys and that file with them. Okay, and they should not lose it. Okay, it will not come back again. As far as I know, from
What
the
you know is
AWS
the
side, I'm
answer.
not much sure.
What you know is the answer. AWS will
Okay.
take care about all the infrastructure, like the global network security, configuration, and the vulnerability analysis, compliance validation. As a user,
Okay.
you has to take care about the users, the groups, the policies, the roles. We'll talk about the IAM roles when we are talking about when we are using the EC2 instances, guys. Why? Because today we have time. Actually, the time has been crossed more than 12. If it okay if I stand for 12:30, if it is okay for you, or else I will end our class with an IAM.
Sorry, Raghul, can you come back again?
No, I'm asking that. Would we like to extend our class to 12:30, or else if it is okay, we can stop with an IAM right now.
It's okay.
12:30 till
Okay,
okay.
you can extend it.
I'm sorry, not able to hear you.
I say it's okay, you can extend it.
Okay, we can extend it. What about others? Is it okay for you to extend up to 12:30? We can start
Yeah.
EC2 and give you some basic glimpse about it.
Yes, go ahead, Raghu.
Yes, go
Yeah,
ahead.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, fine.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. So about the user, about the shared responsibility model, users should have the users, groups, roles, and policies. Take care about the management and monitoring. As you already said, you have to enable all the MFA, and you have to suppose you rotate your keys often, analyze access patterns, and reuse permissions. This is all about it. And I wish you that learned about it, and we talked about what is cloud computing, how is it right, and this is a lot about it. Sure. Now let's get into another important service, which is called as EC2. Have you guys know about what EC2? I've told a lot about EC2 when I'm taking a much class. Can you know, guys, what is EC2?
Yeah, manage the server storage, servers, storage and that part.
It's not
RAM,
only
It
managing,
CPU,
gives it
allocation.
gives a compute.
Yeah, compute. Yes.
it's not only the managing thing. We can able to create easy like the virtual servers with the platform, and we're going to create a new virtual server, right? But before knowing those things, we'd like to have some concepts behind. After knowing that thing, we'll try to have a short thing. Okay, so let's talk with some basic things about EC2, right? So first, I would like to provide you the expansion about EC2 is all about. Then we'll start talking about it. So EC2, I would say it is a very, very, very important and fundamental service you need to know in terms of AWS cloud, right? So it is a very, very important fundamental service you need to know about in terms of AWS cloud. Why? Because whenever you're going into it, you need to know like how to rent your virtual service. Okay. So EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. And this Elastic Compute Cloud, whatever you can do is nothing but you can rent your virtual machines, which is VMs. And the first thing is all about VMs. And what will be the other thing? Any guesses? What will be the other thing?
Storage.
Good. The storage for VMs, which is nothing but this renting virtual machines are nothing but your EC2 instances. You will create your EC2 instances. Am I right? And storage for VMs are nothing but the EC2 in storage for EC2 instances, which is nothing but your EBS volumes, which is Elastic Block Store Volume. Okay. Anything else extra?
Network.
Networking. Okay. Then
LB.
very good. Load balancing. Load balancing is a very important thing. Why? Because if an server gets number of service requests incoming at a time called T, then how it is gonna balance the load. So we have another feature called ELB, which is Elastic Load Balancer. Then one more thing is left.
Security.
Okay, I would like to write a security for EC2 instances which is being created, and that will be provided by security groups, which is SGs. Then
Service groups. Firewall.
firewall is the same thing, right? You have only one security
Yeah.
firewall, which is nothing but
Fine.
security groups.
Probability zones.
Database.
You can create your own database with when you are having those things. So not going to be a point of it. Some of you have already answered in the first case. We said why AWS is all about it. Why AWS is needed. It's nothing but the scalability. Like if
Yes.
the application needs more number of EC2 instance, right? If it has more number of EC2 instance, then we have to increase it, right? Do we want to do it manually? No, we do have a feature called as AST, which is auto scaling groups. Pretty much, I've said you the basic intro about it. So EC2 Elastic Compute Cloud, the first thing what we're going to do is nothing but you're going to rent your virtual machines with the help of EC2 instances. And second thing is all about you're going to have a storage for your VMs, which is nothing but the EC2 instances, which is called as EBS volumes, which is Elastic Block Store. Third thing, you're going to provide a security, which is nothing but the for your EC2 instances, which is called the security groups, SGs, and load balancing too. We left the load balancing. If the server is going to get lot of incoming requests, and you are supposed to balance the load, which is called as elastic load balancer. And scalability, if the application needs more number of EC2 instances, then ASC with this auto scaling group and automatic feature where you need to know about it. Clear so far? But you need to know concept behind, guys. Just a basic upset. Okay, so this is all about you need to know clear about it, like the basic stuff. Let's get into the much more deeper into it when we are creating an EC2 instances. Okay, first thing first for what are all the VM will consist of the virtual machine? Can anyone
Resources.
answer? Yes.
Resources
What are all
like
the resources?
memory, CPU, virtual CPU, or then storage. And it's a web app or DB, whatever.
All those things you said, but you left one important thing.
Network.
Okay, you left one more important thing. Whenever you're creating a virtual machine inside your like using a VMware, creating a virtual machine. Right? What are all the things you want
The
to keep?
timeline.
Ah,
Year, number of
first
years.
of all, you have to choose one important file.
ISO.
That's it. ISO file, and that's where you need to know about
OS. Okay.
what operating system you're gonna choose. You won't have a memory, won't have a CPU, want a storage, want a DB, or a network. Everything can be had.
Yeah.
But you need to have
Yes,
a
yes.
graphical interface to connect with all those resources, right? Unless until if you don't have a graphical interface, it's gonna be how you can able to access your memory, how can you able to access your CPU, how can you able to access your storage? You need a graphical interface to connect all those things, right? So there's nothing but
Yes,
what
yes.
operating systems you gonna choose. That's also very important, right? I mean, in my perspective.
Yeah, that is one of the basics.
One of the
I
important thing. Why? Because
miss that.
everything are physical resources.
Yes.
I would say everything is going to be physical resources instead of DB and networking some other stuff. But to access this physical devices, physical storage, we need to have a software to access this physical thing, right? That software is going to be the operating system, what we're going to have. Yes. So what EC2 instance and configuration options is that? The first thing is all about is nothing but the operating systems, as I already said, the graphical interface, what we have. You can choose either Windows, what already available. You can also choose Linux. You can also choose Mac, and you can also choose the Linux to AMI, where the AWS is as default operating system, which is being given to you. Second thing, as you say that how much compute power it is needed, which is nothing but the CPU stuff, what you need. Third thing, the RAM, the random access memory, what you needed. Fourth thing, you said about the storage space, right? So storage space, we talked about EBS volumes, how much EBS volume have been needed. But unfortunately, do you guys like? I would like to give a question to you guys. In which operating system you have worked? Either in Windows, either in Mac, or either in Linux.
Windows mostly.
All are
Linux
Windows. Anyone
somewhat.
know?
Yeah, more like a little bit of Linux.
What type of file system will be using in Windows, and what type of file system will be used in Linux?
Add an in his
NTFS in Windows.
That's
NTFS. Not a thing.
in Linux. Is any options for Linux? Any options for Linux? So this is the file system will be followed, right? From the root, you'll have a home, you'll have a bin, etc.